Good. You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Rope.
How's every single one of you? It's Tuesday, and it's time to talk about NXT, the final show before NXT TakeOver 36. And like Jean-Paul mentioned before we go on air, great promos. You know, like they can build stories through promos. They can tell you everything. They get you excited. They hype you up. But when it comes to sometimes the matches, not too good. I don't know what's going on. You know, the NXT is going another direction now. It's going to be a different focus. So what did you think, Paul? At least this is going to be the swan song for this NXT that we know.
Yeah, I mean, that is what they're saying. They're saying, pack your bags, move out. This place is done. There's nothing left for us here. Who knows? But, the one thing I will say is they saved, besides the promos, which the promos were hyping the matches that we will see on Sunday, TakeOver 36. But, all the matches that we saw tonight, I think, that just proves that the mid-card on this show is absolutely shit.
Yeah. And
that only the matches on TakeOver that are the main event are really, the matches that we should care about. So it's like, this show was really, match-wise didn't really do anything except the opening contest. Great match, which we'll get.
Yeah, and should we say that, like, because of those 12, releases, should we blame it on that, or just, like, NXT has not done their work?
No.
When it comes to building stars.
Whether you still had Bobby Fish, Tyler Russ, all of them, your mid-card was still shit. We still said that. It's the main event guys were still carrying this brand. The Tommaso Ciampas, the Adam Coles, Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe back was huge for them, to get him back. But we've been saying for how long, their mid card and below has just been bad.
Yeah, and it needs a lot of work. So we'll see what happens because, like you said, you already mentioned there's a lot of situations going on, reports. There's a lot of things coming up. But what is for sure and is definite is thank you to every single one of you. This week is huge in wrestling. We're going to be covering everything. Friday we go on a 3-day weekend. Yeah, a lot of people think that we're going to be resting. No, we have a lot of shows to cover. But we started out in the right food, with Monday Night Raw.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. How was Raw on your own? How was
it was, it was difficult. It was always painful, especially when you see these two clowns in the main event. Bobby Lashley, I like. He's a great guy. He's a great champion. But Goldberg and then the far stare down spear. Lashley, it's all humiliated, exposed, like I said in the video. So, what's this family? I mean, outside of that, what's there to say? I mean, the Arcade Bros are brag. That was the main story for me. Did you like anything from Raw?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see that because I did say the Arcade Bros should be champions. And, I guess that's fine that they're going to be taking it from AJ and Omos. But to me, that Omos he's done after this. After he loses, you're not going to, what is he going to beat Bobby Lashley? You're not going to push this guy. To me, that the whole mystique of him is just over and done with. But
and it's easy, you can lose your mystique easy on Monday Night Raw.
And the way that they portray Nikki ASH and everything, I still can't get behind her. I mean, to me, the Nikki Cross was more serious, and I really feel she's losing the title on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we want to see my views on it, my take on every single thing. Please watch the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and give the video a like. Paul, the match that's supposed to open this show originally was supposed to be Kushida against Roderick Strong. Kushida was not cleared to wrestle, something that has been happening lately on NXT, which is a shame because it really happens to change the show. You got to change the focus of it, everything. But at least they have a great replacement in Ilya Dragunov. So that was at least, they found a way to make it right for us. So they gave a really great match between these two because like you said, Roderick Strong, great wrestler, and Ilya is on fire because of the match that he has on Sunday.
Yeah, and the way that they portrayed Ilya here, because they even said the whole time on commentary, what's he doing? He's a fool. He had the tough match against Pete Dunne last week. And, now he's wrestling Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong's one of the best guys in the business. He's so good. He can go forever. You can't, wear him out. Now that's why they always call him the Hatchet Man and everything. And they said, was this smart of him, before TakeOver? And they said, well, he's a fighter, and why would you want to go into TakeOver just resting? You would want to go in ring shape. And what better way to get in ring shape than to go against one of the best Roderick Strong? So they're really painting Dragunov as this fighter, this tough guy who won't back down from anything. And this match was good, and we saw that, you know, the way he got busted open. I mean, that was legit. And, you know, Roderick Strong, you know, I felt a little bad for him at the end when he was going for the Torpedo Moscow, boom, and he hit the knee strike, and Dragunov was like, fuck you. He no-sold it, got up and hit it again. I mean, it makes Dragunov look like a badass going into the match on Sunday, but, you know, Roderick Strong was like, so like, my knee strike is bullshit.
My offense is bullshit. Yeah. My offense is bullshit. Yeah,
but I mean, hey, Dragunov needed to win. Diamond Mine, I mean, they're hanging on by a thread. I'm surprised that they weren't all cut. I would say all of them except Roderick Strong. I'd like to see what the other guy can do. We haven't seen him wrestle.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, like a pubic hair is held in that like group together, and then we get to see like just Dragunov calling out Walter. You know, Jean Paul, all of that. So like we will see. Like I guess he answered the call a little later. But like you said, good opening match. That's what we wanted to see on NXT. Then we go move on to like a great promo between, you know, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, you know, so showcasing the match that they're going to have, you know, all this build up for like months now, 6 months, like so many matches together and everything. So this is going to be the Undisputed finale. That's when it's going to be. Cole O'Reilly's like, these promos are always the best thing of like professional wrestling nowadays. So because you just believe that everything, you know, that they're saying. So I'm really happy for like the promo. Is the match is going to be great? Yeah, but you know, hopefully that's the swan song for Adam Cole and O'Reilly, and Cole will go to the main roster.
Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you. You know, we weren't super hot on this when it started, but the way that they presented this, I think this is the match I'm most excited for the pay-per-view, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, I am excited for Joe and Kross. That's right underneath, but to me, the way they present this, the way they do it, and, you know, WWE, nobody does it better than them. We criticize them for a lot of things, but when they want to get you excited for something and they want to present it legit, they can do it. Like he chanted all those lines. NXT wouldn't have signed you if it wasn't for me. We wouldn't have had the gold if it wasn't for me. You know, they wouldn't be chanting Undisputed Era if it wasn't for me. And now they're chanting. And I love when they cut in with the crowd, and the crowd is, you know, they follow up what he's going to say, and they're all like, Adam Cole, baby. Like, it's so good. It makes you
That's one of the things that, you know.
Yeah, you get the goosebumps. You're like, this is badass to see. When you watch this is one of the matches, too, where you can shut your brain off and you forget that they're working. You know, it's like, no, these guys are really beating the hell out of each other. So I'm excited.
I love this.
Again, you know, so far the show off to a great start. So, you know, well,
but then this is when it starts to go down because, you know, Santos Escobar, like, you know, because they have a good feud between, you know, like the Guerrero del Fantasma and Hydro. Then, you know, Santos Escobar is talking to like them. It's saying, hey, you know what? You know, you took the mask, you like set it on fire. All of that is like, you know what? Well, I have your trust right now. You know, like, I'm not gonna hurt you. Just come out. Isaiah Scott, just come out, you know, no, my guys are not going to be here. So all of that. So Isaiah comes out, and then actually they jump him. So, you know, full on him, but not really that full on him because then the other members of Hydro, they start to beat him up and all of that. And in the end, you know, like Legado del Fantasma gets outnumbered because they don't have a girl. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
we've been calling for the girl. Where is it? Yeah. Where is she? Where is she?
And she don't just come in there like punching people, slapping, kicking them. She's like a fucking baseball bat or a lead pipe or something, and she's whacking them with it. And they just beat the hell out of Santos. They throw one of them like onto a car or something. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, what is this? You know, they don't have a match on Sunday, do they?
No,
they have a match? No, that's what I mean, because they have a, you know, later on they say there's a 6-man coming up, and I'm like, Legado looks like such losers. Like if they're the heels in this, which they are technically the heels, they look like such pathetic. Nobody would, if this was, you know, in the 80s, nobody would pay to see this because they'd be like, these guys look like idiots. Why would I want to see them?
Yeah, no, that's a big issue. We've been asking for the girl. No girl. We've sent Katrina. She's ready for it. Put him with Legado del Fantasma. She's friends with Santos Escobar on Twitter and Instagram. Put him with them. Even the numbers.
Yeah, and if Zelina Vega wasn't such bullshit on SmackDown, you could just be like, you know what, come here. You're not doing anything up there.
Exactly. Put him there because, like, look, like, I completely outnumbered. So this is bad. You know, like, all this stuff, all the seriousness that they got that Fantasma had, they're losing it. So, look, thumbs down on that.
Me, I got to say, even if they win the 6-man next week, to me, I'm done with Santos for now. To me, they're just...
They need to, like, give me a little bit better. They need to, like, move into a different feud. You're right. So, like, Jason Briggs right there, you got to see a promo, like, with also LA Knight and also Cameron Graham. So Cameron Graham and him are going to have a match. We're going to see that in just a little bit, you know, and we had to see Teddy Biasi on commentary. Did he help out? No, not really, because, you know, the commentary for NXT has, like, completely gone down. It's not the Wade Barrett's fault. Big Joseph, hey, is like another Michael Cole. Beth was legit with, like, Maureen Nigel. Now she's part of the formula. But that was what we have. LA Knight came out with Cameron, cave in, and that was it. Pretty much, Cameron Grimes gets the win, and you and Paul, did you like his LA Knight beat his ass? So LA Knight gets the upper hand, but what's gonna happen on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, he came out, he was on commentary too. Him and DiBiase, they made a bet, double or nothing, because it was LA Knight paid this whoever the hell went against
Jason Briggs.
Yeah, Jason Briggs. He paid him $10,000. He's like, beat the shit out of him, so I have an easy time on Sunday. Obviously, we knew it wasn't going to go that way. DiBiase found out about the bet. Since, the cameraman filmed it, LA Knight didn't try to make it secretive at all that he just put a hit out on his butler, which is something he should be arrested for. But anyway, then they did a double or nothing, so DiBiase won $20,000. Cameron Grimes wins. Like you said, he beats him up, but, are we really going to see Ted DiBiase beat his butler? No. LA Knight, hey, he was more over on Car Shield than he is here on NXT.
Exactly, you're absolutely right. So then we got to see a promo by Cameron, and Ted DiBiase, the one main thing that he did is just hype him up. He's like, come on, you're legit, and then you're like, oh yeah, to the moon, all of that. So he gets all really hyped up. But like you said, we're going to see this at NXT TakeOver 36, LA Knight against Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Championship, and Grimes is going to become champion. We already spoiled it for you. There's no need to ask to Paul who's going to win. He already said.
And to me, this feud can't be like, oh, LA Knight was so legit. Now we can put him onto, Samoa Joe or Karrion Kross. No, he's the loser. He goes down. You have to build him back up even further. This is awful. LA Knight is probably like, God, damn, man, he should have just been a free agent.
Impact. I should have gone back to Impact. Because I went from NWA, Forbidden Door. Now everybody's just, Impact and AEW, New Japan, all of them. So it should have been easy. Should have been a no-brainer, but unfortunately he signed. So he signed.
Unless he's getting called up. Unless they said, drop it to Cameron Grimes, your Monday Night Raw, here you come.
That's LA Knight, like you said, anywhere he goes, that's the best heel that you can have. LA Knight. Yeah. Easy.
And I could honestly see Vince McMahon liking him. Like when they talk, Vince would probably be like, "Oh, he's badass."
Oh, let me tell you something. Exactly. So let's go to this story, Paul. A lot of people are loving this. We are not behind this. I mean, congratulations to the couple on the right or in the right, like Candice and also Johnny Gargano. They're expecting their first child. Hey, good for them. That means that all those times I found being fruitful. So really, this is good for them. But they're going to be a mixed tag here, like Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. This is when all these stories are completely, for me, overly done. Love triangles.
The only thing I'm going to be honest that I like is all the sexual innuendos from Indy Hartwell, where she's like, oh yeah, he had a bunch of cake and then he ate the pie. And then Johnny's like, what is she talking about? There was no pie on the menu. And then Candice is like, oh my God. So
yeah. Well, you know that Johnny was eating some cake and pie too. Yeah, otherwise, it wouldn't be a baby. Yeah. So legit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I like the innuendos, the jokes. She's making it funny. And I guess it's, it also is, a little more comedic since Lumis doesn't say anything. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing though. Is this is on this show. When this should be on a sitcom. It should. Yeah,
exactly. It will be more at least this I do like. For example, this picture because she gets in the same kind of aura that Dexter Lumis, and she's doing the same work. She went against the Robert Stone and also Jesse Kamea. This was not. I mean, Robert Stone looking like Vega, from Street Fighter, legit. I don't know if anybody.
I did pop when he launched himself on the outside. It just
it was
literally just done. Nobody was there. They just look at him so.
And and he's shitting on Robbie E. He was a little distant on the Impact, but at least I like the Vega cosplay right there. That was fun, but like you said, that was really funny. In the end, Indy does even the Hanakatame, the same call that the same hold that Dexter Lumis does. So that's cool because that's something I do appreciate because hey, my girl can do my move also. So that was cool.
I mean, what will be badass if Dexter Lumis was a mysterious evil heel still, but Indy still fell in love with him, and the story was somehow a little more serious, and he was you're pushing him as this crazy heel, and then Indy turns crazy him turns heel.
Yes.
And you could do but to me they're still just a joke. They
add you said the comedy act, they overly react because they like this. Frankie Monet was part of this. Frankie already did also. She's in the same league as John Morrison, unfortunately. Maybe they don't give a damn anymore because of the changes that they're gonna have. But Indy pretty much proposes to Dexter Lumis and So we're going to see that soon Indy's going to be the other one pregnant. So there you go. Like both of them, they're all the way are going to be eating pie and also cake. A lot of dessert.
To comment on one thing you said earlier, I could be wrong too with both of these names. The one I mentioned earlier, LA Knight, but maybe don't be surprised if Frankie Monet gets called up. They might be like, she's good, she has no reason to be here because they don't want the stars here in NXT. They want develop the guys that are going to be our stars.
You're right.
They don't want the stars.
You're right. They can be on the switch on that. So let's move to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They had pretty much like an interview. This was not well done by Beth Phoenix because there was not even an introduction that there's going to be an interview. So it's just Raquel. So how do you feel about it? And then just go to this. So what are words? Dakota Kai is a traitor. She always betrays people, uses people. Whenever she gets what she wants, then she must trashes you and all of that. And Dakota is you know what? I don't care what you're going to call me because on Sunday you're going to call me champion. So did you like this promo, Paul?
Yeah, it was pretty good, but I wish it was a sit down. I don't know why it couldn't have been, I feel like those are more legit because you feel the legit. It's easier to cut a promo on somebody when they're on a computer screen or whatever. But when you're sitting right next to them or you're staring them in the eye, I feel like the promo always feels a little more legit. But yeah. This wasn't bad. I'm excited for the match. But like you said,
they're having the review with us. Look. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it was just, and like you said, the way Beth did it didn't feel legit. Like the way they presented Adam Cole, and and there was sometimes the way we've seen Io Shirai get promos, with Charlotte and all this stuff. We've seen some really good stuff, and then this is just,
Yeah, it was really flat. Yeah, it's not at the same level, like you said. It wasn't good, but at least they harping up the match. We're gonna see this. And your prediction here, Paul, is Raquel dropping the belt, or or she retains?
This is really tough to say because I can't think of anybody who's going to go after Raquel after this. So I'm going to say no, she drops it to Dakota Kai, little Miss Shawn Michaels. Maybe they're going to push her the same way. Who knows? My
gosh, Paul. We're going here all the way with this. No, I'm going to say Raquel's still the champion. Dakota Kai is actually maybe the one that's going to go to the main roster. She's being
used I can see that too. Yeah, I can see that too.
There's a match that don't watch that main event. She loses to Aaliyah. That's absolutely in an awful fashion. He's an awful performed DDT. Even I never been in the ring, I can perform a better DDT, and it was just bad. There was tweets about it what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Man! So all of that. So, that's what it had. But at least I feel that Raquel's gonna retain the title. We get to hear from also Diamond Mine. Right there, he says, oh, Roderick, what do you feel about Roderick Strong losing? He's hey, Malcolm Bean is hey, as far as I know, either Dragunov is a heavyweight. So he didn't lose, to a cruiserweight. It's fine, and he doesn't have to answer anything because he's gonna get released in a few days. So it's fine. Just wait till Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's what
just wait till Monday morning after Takeover. They'll be everybody
after Takeover, exactly. And we grab the knife and start trimming the fat one more time. Let's talk about this was actually pretty decent, but I don't know. You're probably pissed because you were actually rooting for Doug Hudson. And, you see right there, he goes against also Carmelo Hayes. Really good match, but in the end, Carmelo gets the win. So, they actually supporting the guy with the speed, the guy with the athleticism, rather than the big guy, it's more powerful,
Yeah, and also two baby faces in the finals doesn't make any sense to me. You could have told a great match to really get Odyssey Jones over, because I feel like that's the guy who's going to win this. And especially if, who is it here? Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
If he beats the two biggest guys in this tournament, that buries these two new big guys you just brought in.
Yeah.
Because then how are they going to be portrayed like a monster? Oh, but you got beat by a guy who weighs, 80 pounds less than you do. Probably 100 in the case of Odyssey Jones. But, the match itself was good. When he hit the big knee from the top, I thought, oh, shit. Is he going to kick out? Is he going to, get a foot to the rope or something? 1, 2, nothing. He was laying there, cold, he was shot dead. 3, I'm shit. I don't know. To me, Duke Hudson was the biggest star coming out of here. Odyssey Jones was my number 2, right behind him. But I don't know what you do with Duke Hudson now.
And and also Carmelo Hayes was trying to call Meiko Satomura. I don't know if I picked up on that. Or is it when you play a video game and you go to the final boss and I'm really, Meiko's gonna show up? No. And he
got Scorpio Rising and done.
And she probably will beat him, Meiko Satomura is the final boss. Odyssey Jones came out, and about a little bit of he got excited, he had hype. Like you said, this is if you merge Willie Mack, if you ever Mark Henry and Keith Lee, all of them in one guy. The same athleticism, good wrestler, and all of that, and also he's more hype. And both of them, like you said, I'm not really into this.
To me, as soon as you made it two baby faces, I mean, if this match we saw here was the final, and you wanted to put, Odyssey Jones, or not, what's
Hudson.
Hudson. No, not Hudson. Who was Carmelo Hayes? Yeah, too many names here. If you want to put Carmelo Hayes over and this was the finals, I would have been fine with it because at least it was heel and babyface.
Yeah.
I can't do babyface.
Yeah, no, and like you said, and this is gonna be like for next show. We'll see what happens, but I'm not really into it. I mean, this is the focus now for NXT, and they're gonna start taping it. They said also the USA executives are really pissed off because we didn't pay for a tape show.
Yeah, it's over rope break.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You guys are right. So, let's go to this match for the NXT Tag Championships, and that's Imperium going against MSK. Your thoughts on this? Because I feel pretty good match. MSK doesn't look bad when it comes to fighting. It's just the promo work and the fact that they're actually never there. Right? They don't. Maybe they're there for a month and then they leave, and then we get a promo every now and then, and that's it. But here, Imperium to me gets buried. Just because I feel that they were going to get the championships, and unfortunately they didn't.
Oh, the match was, to me, fantastic. The Imperium, they got heat long, through the break, came back from commercial, still had the heat, still looked dominant. They were beating up, I believe it was Nash Carter, I think.
Yes.
No, or Wesley.
Wesley.
Yeah, it was Wesley. They were getting, the heat on for the long time. And, the match was going great. The one guy was knocked out. Oh, they go for their finish. And then as soon as Dragunov came out, I'm like, this match is done. Because I just knew it was going to be a cluster. I knew it was going to be bullshit. And that's what it was. He attacks Walter. They get distracted. They can't hit the uppercut. MSK goes back on offense. Boom, they hit their finisher, done. And I'm like, no, this just, it killed it. And I hate that it's Dragunov had to be a part of that.
Yes.
I don't know why you needed to see more of this. If anything, they should have won. They should have been celebrating. And then maybe they start beating up MSK after the match. haha, we won. We won.
And then Dragunov comes out.
And then Dragunov comes out. Yeah, that to me would have been better. Because then you would have at least got the image one time to have all three of these guys holding up the gold together. That would have been badass. But I mean, unless Walter retains on Sunday, which if so, you're gonna be hearing the shooting John Paul. Because
if that's the case, I'm completely pissed off about it because it's the time. Walter has done a phenomenal job up to maybe 5-6 months. We haven't seen him a lot. After the match with Dragunov, that was the end for me. It should have been right there when you dropped the title. But this for me is overly done one more time. Like you said, I didn't need to see this one more time, especially when he looks like that. No. But I mean, the rule of thumb, upper hand, on the go home show, then you probably drop it on the pay-per-view. So let's hope that's the case because this is going to be Walter against Dragunov 2. It needs to happen. They cannot have a better person to drop the title to. Are you going to do it Kofi? Are you going to do Rampage round? No. It's Ilya Dragunov. You need to have that guy getting the belt. And, Walter, like you said, if he's going to stay in the United States, he's going to be part of the main roster. This is the time to do it. And because, you know what? NXT is not going to evolve around Walter one more time. They did it in the UK. It worked, but it's not going to work here in the United States.
I mean, to me, I was almost going to book him to be, if you don't want Joe to be a long-term champ, you can put the title right on Walter. They might do that. They might. For me, it's really I don't know. Especially, let's say Adam.
Let's
say Adam Cole gets called up. That's your biggest name. Okay, who else do you really have? I mean, you can do Pete Dunne and Walter again. You can redo that match. There's lots of different stuff you can.
Oh no, yeah, you could like you said, Pete Dunne is right there. Maybe you could do also Ciampa, two for another belt. You have Gargano, maybe. You have a lot of guys like you said. Even O'Reilly, if he stays there, if he doesn't get trimmed the fat, But we'll see what happens. Let's go now to the main event, and that was the last face-off, the last encounter between Samoa Joe and also Karrion Kross. And just Samoa Joe comes down and he just said, I'm going to hurt you. I'm back here. The main reason that I'm back is just because I want to become the NXT champion one more time. And you made this happen. He's like, I didn't. I wasn't supposed to wrestle Karrion, but I'm going to be the one. Now I'm legit. I'm clear. And they trimmed the fat that Triple H called me. The only one that they brought back. So, it's my time to be the NXT champion. And then Karrion Kross comes out and he's like, you don't get it. You don't get that what I'm doing. This
Where is Scarlett?
Oh yeah,
exactly. Scarlett.
Yeah,
that was the best part.
You don't have it. You don't get it. It's for the future of the brand because I'm going to the main roster. I beat Jeff Hardy in 2 seconds. So they go against each other, and then of course this has to end into a brawl. And I mean, this was okay. I mean, neither one of them gets the upper hand, so it's fair and square. It's 50-50 for what is going to be, to TakeOver 36, the main event. So I'm happy with it. They went through, of course, the barricades, or the plexiglass that they're doing. Of course, everybody's going to have mandatory mask one more time. The Delta variation keeps, rising cases. So, of course, we cannot have normality one more time. And this is going to be the match, Paul. So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, the promo was good. Joe's fired up. Crowd's really behind Joe. The crowd, like I said, I love the taunt. Where's Scarlett, taunting Karrion there. And, his promo was pretty decent. He said...
Yeah, without Scarlett, he suffers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so good. He's just like, Joe, you're over the hill. You're done. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you quick. You're nothing. And, they start going at it. And like you said, it was good that one guy didn't stand tall because, you just touched on the rule of thumb. Whoever stands tall in the go-home show is probably going to lose at the pay-per-view. Well, nobody was standing tall, so now nobody knows. So, that's the one thing. They want to make it a mystery. They don't want to maybe make it too obvious.
So let's ask the best booker in the business, Paul. Joe or
I mean,
Crow?
I think you
for me, no-brainer. It's easy, right? It's easy to say. It's safe to say that, Samoan Indy Jones. No, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Lucius Jones.
Yeah, Samoa Lucius Joe is going to be the new NXT champion. And I mean, yeah, because Karrion, they need him in does Monday Round need him? No. But, he's already there. So
no, but I mean, if you really push him, you make him legit. I mean, you can have Bobby Lashley MVP in one corner, Karrion Kross and Scarlett in the other. But to me, you should have just booked him like a monster. You should have just had beat people. The fact that he lost to Jeff Hardy is...
the fact that he lost to Jeff Hardy is no more words. No words needed. Yeah, exactly right. So, family, thank you so very much for being with us one more time. And don't forget, this big week of wrestling, we're going to have every single show. Tomorrow, the broadcasting continues, our coverage of everything, AEW Dynamite tomorrow, NXT UK, you name it. We have it all. So, where they can find us, Paul.
And, guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...